little things. Like my brother just died recently, and a lot of weird things started happening. It's not
Sorry for your
not a
loss.
sad thing, because that's another thing. When you, it's we all die, so I don't look at death as I look at death like I look at birth now. It's just a thing that happens. So, but a lot of things happen leading up to his death, and like signs, indications. There was a lot of water signs that were going on. A lot of things that had to do with water, and my brother drowned. So the last time I saw him was he was in a pool and he was looking into the water, and he didn't respond to me. He just looked forward into the water. It was a FaceTime call, and he didn't respond to me. He just looked straight into the water, and then a week later he drowned.
I'm sorry.
So, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not sad. It was like last week.
Oh man. How do you feel about it?
Well, you have an initial response, which is, a lot of people go into hysterics. I didn't do that. And then you have guilt, because if you don't go, if you're not hysterical, if you're not crying, you feel like guilt. Like, why am I not sobbing and, flopping around on the floor? But it's not, a lot of times people do that because they think they're supposed to do that. And I just let my emotions play out the way they did. Maybe it will happen later. Maybe a year from now, something will trigger me. But I just I still have a heavy heart because of it, but I can already feel it like easing up. Probably the first time somebody really close to me died was the hardest thing. But again, like that's what I was talking about earlier. Like the older you get, the more you get better at dealing with stuff. So even though the first time it was a close friend of mine that was here in New York died, this is like a death-heavy interview. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
The first time a good friend of mine died, that was the worst thing, because it was the first time I ever dealt with death. So you would think that my brother dying would be worse, but it's actually better because I've learned to like deal with it. Everything is sort of written out for you already, and so there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't mean you don't try, you don't get up and try every day, but people think they can control and like steer their life, but you can't. All you can do is have a positive outlook and get up and try no matter what happens to you. But ultimately, everything's sort of like written out for you. So, yeah, looking at life like that helps.
Like if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago?
I would tell myself everything that's gonna happen to me, that I know is gonna happen to me. If I went back 5 years, went back in time, I'd say, look, this is gonna happen to you, this is gonna happen to you, this is gonna happen to you. But even though you know this is gonna happen to you, it's not gonna help you prepare for it, knowing about it. The only thing that's gonna help you deal with it is when it actually happens. So the mystery of life is what makes life interesting. So you don't want to know what's going to happen. It would just make life boring then. If I knew 5 years from now my other brother was going to die, it would make life boring. It would be like buying a book and just flipping to the end and reading the end of it. It would make life that boring. It would take the purpose out of life and the book. It'd be like, what's the purpose of reading the whole book? I already know the ending. So I've learned that also. There's a reason why life is such a mystery. It's to keep it interesting for us, because life will just become boring as soon as you know everything that's going to happen. So it makes us sort of like get up and keep trying. And also I believe that in the end everything will be revealed to us as individuals, not as collective, like you and you. Everything is going to be revealed to you in the end. The purpose of the universe and your existence will be revealed to you eventually. But right now, a good analogy is, say, like you get a piece of you're born as just a piece of granite, and all life's hardships through life is like chiseling you down, and so on the day you die, you're this perfect sculpture. But when you're born, you're this crude, uninteresting thing. But by the time you're 70 or 80 years old, you're a beautiful piece of art. You know, that's what life does to you.